Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of SaaS Growth Academy. Today, we are with Gordana, co-founder at Workello. Gordana, welcome, and it is really nice having you here with us.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm super excited for this. And yeah, let's get started.
Okay, can you introduce us a little bit more to your company and like the founding story?
Yeah, absolutely. So my company's name is Workello, which may remind you of Rihanna's song Umbrella. And that is exactly how it got its name. It's a funny story that I may tell some other time. But essentially, we are a pre-hire testing platform originally designed for testing content writers and editors. And that is exactly how we started. We started as a content marketing agency, and as every other content marketing agency, we struggled a lot with hiring writers because I'm sure you know the whole process is super manual, super tedious, super annoying. And honestly, I was kind of having mental breakdowns all the time because I had so many emails in my inbox. So my two lovely co-founders just said, let's make you a tool. And that's how Workello was born. Um, and yeah, we spent a lot of time coming up with the name. So I hope you guys like it.
It seems you spend more time coming up with the name than coming up with the idea.
Exactly. The idea was there. We knew exactly what we wanted. We wanted to automate the testing process because previously we, had to generate Google Docs and put instructions in all of those Google Docs manually and name them appropriately and share them with the person that we want to hire. And that honestly was taking up at least 30 hours out of my week, which is definitely too much when you're a director of content, which I was back in the day, spending most of my time hiring. So the idea was there. The idea was clear. We knew exactly what we wanted to do. And yeah, we did it. And since we've helped over, I'd say 150, 200 companies hire writers, editors, marketers, salespeople, anyone. And yeah, that's kind of our origin story. We keep expanding, obviously, to other niches, but yeah, the name was definitely the hardest part because the idea was easy, you know what you want, you just make it. But you got to make it sound catchy.
Yeah, and how did you validate the initial idea? I mean, you had the idea. Did you validate it yourself? I mean, you used it first,
Yeah,
right? And then you expanded it to the customers.
that is exactly how it went. So before Workello, we actually made another SaaS product. It's called Cluster AI. It's basically a keyword clustering tool. There are 1,000 right now, but back in the day, there were only like a couple. So we needed it, so we made it and we used it. And it's the same story with Workello. We desperately needed it. At the time, we were hiring a lot of people. We grew our team from 1 to 45 writers and editors, which is a lot of people. And yeah, we just needed a quick solution. So we R&D the whole process ourselves. We used the tool actually in its kind of infancy stage ourselves only. And we only had a couple of other beta testers that were members of our community that know us, that wanted to kind of help us understand what direction to take with the product. So the first, I'd say, 4 or 5 months, maybe 6, were just internal testing, trying to break it as much as we can. And yeah, that's pretty much how we validated it. And we saw that the community needed a similar solution because everyone is struggling with hiring, as far as I know, in the content world, and no one really knows where to look. No one really, I'm not going to say no one, I'm sorry, but most people don't really have the system and they just kind of go into it willy-nilly. They go to Upwork, they go to freelancer.com, if it even exists now. But not a lot of people had like a dedicated solution for it. So that was kind of our proof of concept that it worked, people want it, and the validation that we needed.
So being active in all those communities definitely helped you on the way.
100%. Yeah. We, as SEOs, there are a lot of SEO groups on Facebook primarily. which I told you was a surprise for me. I thought Facebook was just for old people. But then we built our own community, and turns out people will just ask you when they need something, and they will ask for recommendations for certain products, or they would even ask if such a thing exists. And this was something that we saw come up over and over again, and everyone was struggling with it. So it seemed like a pretty good idea for us to make it. So that's how we started.
And beside those communities, what was your best performing marketing channel, and did it change over time? I mean, you are in doing content for years. Are you using it to your own strength?
Yes, absolutely. So we right now our biggest marketing channel is social, to be honest. But SEO is number two, and I'm projecting that it will be number one next year, 2024. We invested a lot of hours, a lot of dollars, a lot of our own knowledge into this SEO content that we published, and I'm expecting it to be our number one acquisition channel. But as you know, SEO takes time, so you really can't make it work from day one. It's kind of more of a slow process, whereas with social, everything is very instant for us. And we were lucky enough, my two co-founders and I, we started building our brands on LinkedIn 3 years ago, 3 years ago, I want to say. We started posting here and there. We also built a community on Facebook because we knew that one day we are going to make a product. We're gonna make a SaaS, and we're going to need a place to promote it. So if you are starting right now, I highly recommend just pick a social channel and go hard on it. For us, LinkedIn is working really well. Facebook is working really well. But of course, with video and everything, there are just other channels to explore. So highly, highly recommend. But sorry, this is such a long answer, but also make sure to invest into a channel that you own, which for us is our own website. And for most people, it's going to be their own website. So just publishing a lot of content, publishing a lot of high quality content is something that no one can take away from you. I can get banned on Facebook tomorrow. I was banned from LinkedIn like a couple of times for posting funny memes that were not really community friendly. And that can all go away in a second, but your SEO traffic can never go away if you're doing the right thing and not making Google hate you. But let's hope you aren't. So yeah, do that.
Would you have any advice for people who do not want Google to hate them, and for the whole content marketing thing?
100%. So if you don't have an internal team, even if you do, I do recommend talking to someone who knows what they're doing. So I see a lot of founders become very overprotective of their content, and they don't allow anyone to write the content for them, which is understandable for more serious kind of thought leadership content, very strong opinions on the industry, kind of your origin story, things like that. Yes, as a founder, you should be the one to write that. But all of the SEO content that you can publish, and that can be anything, honestly, depending on your niche. There is absolutely no reason why you, as a founder, as a CEO, as a CMO, whatever, should spend too much time working on that instead of delegating it to writers, editors, even a content marketing agency. It doesn't matter. Just start doing it. Don't do it yourself. Don't think that you're like the smartest person in the room, because you have to focus on making money for the company. You have to focus on sales. You have to focus on other forms of marketing. You really don't have time to be writing 20 articles a month, which is kind of the minimum when you think about it. If you really want to dominate your niche and be kind of the ultimate source of truth in your niche, you have to publish a lot of content. It's just the way it works. It's just the way it is. There's no going around it. You can't be an authority with like 10 or 20 pages of your website. You can't be an authoritative source. So delegate. That's my number one tip. And the best time to start is yesterday, but the second best is today. So just start.
Yeah, that makes sense completely. And Can you tell us what was the biggest challenge in growing your SaaS?
Absolutely. So we are completely bootstrapped. So we basically finance ourselves, our own development, everything. We don't have an investor. And, with the recession and how everything started, you guys know what it's like. A lot of people, a lot of companies are slowing down hiring. And we definitely feel that as kind of a hiring product. Obviously, you want companies that want to hire more people, more people, more people, but it is slowing down. It has slowed down a lot. We're hoping it picks back up, next year. So that has been a super huge challenge for us. And obviously, you can't do anything about that. So we're going to try to navigate the field while we're in this quiet period to develop more features and to develop pretty much everything that people were asking for. And by the time this whole thing ends and companies have money again and want to start hiring again, we're going to be the number one solution. And our SEO is going to grow because it just compounds every day, little by little. So yeah, that's our huge challenge. Another challenge that I think a lot of companies, including us, struggle with is the speed of development. I think we are pretty fast, but you can always go faster. The whole thing like ship fast, break stuff. You can always go faster. You can always just do double the speed, but sometimes that's impossible when you have a really small team. So yeah, challenges all over.
Yeah, and would you say that churn is your challenge? One of those? Do you have trouble with churn? How do you manage it?
Yeah, so I wouldn't say we have trouble with it. It definitely does happen. Like, I think it's something that you can't really escape. If you own any type of SaaS product, people are going to churn. That's completely normal. The way we manage it is, since we, establish ourselves in this community as kind of experts on SEO, on content, we have this large group. We have this large following on, all of the socials. And basically, our customers that come to us, most of them right now come to us for the expertise. So the way we fight churn is by offering kind of additional services on top of the core products. I don't want to say services, sorry, I meant products like add ons. So, for example, we have our Content Ops framework, which is, I don't want to call it a course, but it is kind of a collection of our SOPs that we use in our agency, where we publish sometimes 800 pages a month, where we brought, 5 projects from 0 to 100,000. One of them went to 1.5 million. So all of these things, all of these case studies, they compound and people kind of want to learn from you. So if you can have an add-on to your core product that makes people want to stay, even when they're not in the situation where they necessarily need your product, for example, recession, they're not going to hire anyone for the next 2 years. Why would they need a hiring product? But they might stay because of these other things. And then those add-ons would create a need to, for example, hire more people or get someone new, get a marketer, get a sales guy, get whatever, to just help them execute on that strategy. So that's how we do it. For our other SaaS, it's normal. Again, it's SEO folks. They cluster some keywords, they cancel, they come back in a month or 2 months, they cluster some more keywords, they cancel. So yeah, that's like a pretty normal thing for that product. But just offer good service, I guess. That's my best advice. Talk to your customers, see what they want, see what they need. For us, we're lucky that our customers want something that we have. For you, it might be something else, but just figure out what it is and just give it to them.
What do you think made your SaaS a success? Do you think it was just like offering what people want, or was it something more?
He was definitely just giving the people not just what they want, but what they need. Initially when we started, a lot of our now customers were kind of skeptical, like, why would I need to automate this. I can just do it myself. I can just do it with Google Forms. I could just, I don't know, automate some emails with Zapier. And we basically had to go through the entire phase of educating the market pretty much on candidate experience. So, for example, if you want to hire a top 1%, marketer who's really good, who's going to come and completely revamp your entire company and get you a bunch more customers, you have to treat that marketer with respect. You can't give him a Google form to fill out or give her a Google form to fill out. You wouldn't put your sales leads in a Google form. Why would you treat your candidates the same way? Same with other stuff. You can't not get back to your candidate, because that marketer who's really the best, they're not going to wait around for you to get back to them and tell them if they were invited to take a test, or if they are invited for an interview, or what is the result of that interview. You're just going to go to someone who respects their time. So initially that was really a big struggle for us, because there really wasn't a culture of just respecting your candidates and treating them like human beings. So that was definitely something that we struggled with. But luckily, since then, this was a few years ago, obviously, since then, a lot of companies have changed their stance on it. I personally see a lot more effort on everyone's part to be unbiased and fair and get back to people, which I think is the biggest frustration for any candidate ever. And that is something that we provided that they absolutely needed. So it was just that, you make a product that people not just want, but need, and that make them successful. That's, I think, that makes them money. If you can make people money, they're going to love you. That's the most important thing. It's really that simple.
Yeah, and now that you have some experience and I mean, you had some customers and everything, if you were to start all over again, what would you do the same and what would you do differently?
That's a good question. So I would, for things that I would do the same, I would keep talking to customers with the same intensity, I guess. I would keep asking them the same, questions like, what do you want? How can I make this better for you? What do you need? Tell me, tell me, tell me. Just being obsessed with your customers, I think, is not in a bad way, not in a creepy way, but just wanting to provide them the best service you can. I would definitely keep doing that. What I would do different is, incidentally, on the SEO part, we did a lot of testing on our own website with different types of content. And in hindsight, I would definitely not do that. I would do what I do for my own clients, which is stick to what I know. Don't experiment. Don't try stupid things. And, things would go much faster. But, you learn from every mistake that you make. I'm not sorry that anything happened, because now I know I'm never going to do that again. And next time I start a company or a website, I'm just going to stick to what I know and leave the big experimentation to someone who's not making a new product in a very difficult market at the moment. So yeah, I would do that.
Yeah, and to wrap it all up and to sum your journey up and this whole interview, which advice would you give to aspiring SaaS founders starting their new SaaS today?
Mm-hmm. I would tell them to go Google Paul Graham, who is, I think, the father of startup essays. He is amazing. I love his writing, and he has so much good advice. If you're starting out, if you've already started, you're going to find something that resonates with you. And one of his articles, How to Do Good Work, definitely changed a lot of things for me. So just try to educate yourself on what kind of work you need to do, because being a startup founder is so unnatural. Like, I hate to say it, but it is. It is something that consumes your almost entire life. And if you are not ready for that journey, it's going to be very, very difficult, because you are going to have to work so hard, harder than you've ever worked before, and oftentimes with no results, which can be heartbreaking and soul crushing. But then when you get your wins, they're better than any win that you've ever got before at a different job or something like that. So for me, that was pretty hard because this is kind of my first time being a founder. And I was like, why is it so hard? Like, I don't understand. I thought this was supposed to be fun. But then I realized it's a universal experience. Founders just have to be so obsessed with what they're doing and ready to just work so hard. So reading Paul Graham's essays will definitely help you feel a little bit better and understand what you have to do. So go read. He is fantastic. I love him. He's amazing. I read one of his essays once a week just to kind of get back to reality.
Okay, Gordana, thank you so much. It was
you.
a pleasure having this interview with you. I
Thank
hope
you.
our community will learn as much as I did from this. So thank you once again, and see you on the next episode of SaaS Growth Academy.
Thank you so much. See ya.